So beautiful. Greetings all. I don't know how long this one's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be like 5 hours. Let me sort my windows out. It's going to be an interesting one. And before I get on with what I've planned, I'm going to tell you a story, which is something that I just planned like whilst I was listening to the Trailer Park Boys. I'm going to tell you a story about controlling the narrative. This is a story about 9/11. Short weeks after 9/11, I was at the pub I used to call my local, although it wasn't my local pub. It was in Stockport town centre called the Nelson Tavern, before it became a kind of crappy wine barish type place. It used to be kind of like a studenty slash punk slash biker, just an indie place. That's the best way of describing it. I'm there with a whole bunch of friends. Well, you know when you walk in and everybody says hey, and everybody says hey whenever anybody else walks in, because we all kind of knew each other. It's a Friday night, it's very busy. No, sorry, it was a Saturday night, very busy. And Saturday night would be the night where there would be the highest number of people who were not the regulars. If you went on a Thursday or a Tuesday, it was pretty much always just the regulars. From time to time there'd be somebody new, coming to grab a Coke and use the loo. But that's generally how it was. Fridays, it was nearly all regulars, maybe a couple of people trying it out. And Saturdays, we had the most number of people who were not regulars. Why am I saying all this? It's because it's a Saturday night. This Saturday night, all the regulars are there, but also people who are not regulars, and it wasn't a cliquey pub by any means. I'm there with forget who, well, everyone else, and somebody comes over to me and says, God, have you heard this story about this air stewardess whose hands were found handcuffed, had been flung out of the plane and through a window? I'm like, what? Yeah, this was a... No, I've not heard that. Where's this come from? Oh, there was somebody inside who just told me about it. Oh, interesting. Don't see how that could really happen, a pair of handcuffed hands made their way out of a plane and out of a building and through a glass window somewhere. It just sounds a bit unreal, but it's easy to visualize. So I go inside and I'm just looking, and I hear this woman in a tan, I think it was a tan leather jacket, red bob, talking to some people, and she's not a regular, talking to some people, and to like 3 people, and they're like, oh, and she said, yeah, and the hands have gone right through the window, and I'm hearing this like, that's interesting. So then she goes to the bar. These people are just like, anyway, and she just goes off, and the people go about their business, go outside, and then she's at the bar. And a couple of guys walk in and they go to the bar. I know them, I go over to them, and she's like, oh my God, to these guys, have you heard about the air stewardess hands that were found in the building? And they're like, what? And I said, oh yeah, I've heard something about this. What was it? And she goes, oh, and she makes a little, she goes, yeah, well, so, 9/11, well, the morning of 9/11, this cleaner goes into a house, an apartment, and she walks in, and there's glass all over the floor, and she thinks, oh dear, I'm going to have to clean all this. These 9/11 explosions obviously caused this. And then she sees there, in the middle of the floor, a pair of handcuffed hands that had been freshly manicured, and fingerprint analysis showed that they were air stewardess X's hands. And I say, that's interesting. How do you know what the cleaner thought when she saw all the glass? And she says, what? I said, how do you know? You just said that she walked in and she saw all this glass and she said, she thought, how do you know all these things that she thought? And she said, oh, well, it's just, you know, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And she looks away. Now, where I am, there's the bar goes round like this. She's here, I'm here, here's the door out. We're standing here. She looks that way, and I look that way, where she's just looked. And there's a coin machine, a gambling machine, a one-armed bandit thing. You know what I mean, the gambling machines we have in Britain where you press... Yeah, anyway. So, and because I'd worked in this pub, I knew the layout very well. There's a door, and then next to it, the gambling machine, and next to it, a small void. And just past that, a tiny little area with a table and chairs. Between the gambling machine and this small area, there's just this void. It's about the width, a little bit wider than the width of a door. There's a guy stood there in, again, a leather jacket, just standing there with his back to the wall, just looking straight ahead. And she's looking like this, and he goes, I'm watching. He goes like this and moves forward. He stuck out like a sore thumb. He looked like, well, plainclothes police or former military. Don't know, but that's what he looked like. And he walks away. And I thought that was a weird place for a guy to be stood in a pub where he's kind of hidden away from everyone. And she goes, oh, just like that, and walks off, meets this guy, and they, well, open the door and go out to the front. So I tell the guys that I was with, well, that had just walked in, but that I was not with, I'll be back in a sec. So I walk out to the front, and I go, and I'm looking, and I see them walking down the road towards the train station and the McDonald's in Stockport. And they're walking down the road. She was kind of petite. He was a big guy. And I'm watching. Now, when she'd been speaking to us, there was something a bit iffy about her. It looked like she was trying to be indie, you know, but not getting it quite right. There was something just off about her. And as I'm watching, she's walking down and she puts her hand up and grabs her wig. And as I'm watching, she grabs the wig, pulls it off, puts it into her bag, and I think, you don't expect that to happen. As it starts to happen, I'm thinking, am I hallucinating? What the heck? But that's what happens. She puts the thing in the bag. The wig was red, but she had kind of brownish hair, and she just goes like this, and she starts letting her hair down, and it's like, what were these people doing in this pub, telling this story? What they were doing was controlling the narrative. You see, shortly after 9/11, there were lots and lots of people saying, there's something very dodgy with this whole 9/11 thing. Lots of people in pubs, people everywhere. So these people go in to control the narrative, because some of the people that she will have said this to will have gone on and told other people the same story. It's not true. It never happened. There weren't any handcuffed hands on any floor having smashed through a plane and a building and some plain glass window onto somebody's floor. That didn't happen. It's just a way of controlling the narrative. Now, the reason I'm saying all of this is because the flat earth narrative is being controlled. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show who is controlling the narrative here in Britain. So just bear with me. Now, there are the vast majority of the British flat earthers are intelligent flat earthers, and they don't buy any of what's being sold by these people trying to control the narrative. But that doesn't matter to the people trying to control the narrative, because what they want is a narrative, which means a tune that is sung by a group of people, whilst there are all of the other flat earthers who all sing their own tune. So instead, the narrative becomes these guys. These are the guys who will speak to the media. These are the guys who will be interviewed, and these are the guys who will make flat earth look stupid. So I'm going to share this video and a couple of other videos. And then I'm going to go into the actual flat earth silver bullet, because there is a silver bullet to the flat earth, and I'm going to highlight it. First, I'm going to play this in its entirety. Before I play it, I'm going to say this. It turns out from the comments that have been left to this video that you're going to watch now, some of you will have already seen it. One of the people at this meeting, in fact, two of the people at this meeting have written something. Both of them are not very bright. And one of them, unfortunately, because I've responded, but I thought, is this person really playing stupid? Or could this person be that level of stupid that's classed as retarded, or used to be classed as retarded in non-politically correct days? It would explain it. You have retarded people who become adults and they look like adults, but they behave like, well, teenagers. Could that be what it is? Well, you come to your own conclusions, but I think that one of the people who's been leaving comments is literally retarded, and that would explain the father of this person going to this meetup. Now, I'm not talking about Toxan Gregory. I don't think she's retarded. I think there's something wrong with her, obviously. I'm talking about wonky-eyed Dolly, whatever she's called. Anyway, watch and see what you think. If you haven't seen this already, I played the same video twice. First, I've editorialized and I'm explaining what's going on. And the second time I play it without any cuts other than when the camera was switched off by guys there who didn't want what was being said to be recorded. And bear in mind that when I walked in, she was streaming. Toxan Gregory had her laptop open, her earpiece in, she was streaming. She said, "Oh, hello, you're Antonio?" Like this. And I said, "That's right, the rapist." Anyway, so when I said that, she immediately closed the laptop. Now, there's no... Why do that? Why close the laptop? Why not turn it around and say, well, so we're streaming. No, close the laptop. You'll see. Anyway, the video's not very long. It's only just over 10 minutes long. Then we'll go on to other more interesting stuff. But this is just to alert, especially new flat earthers, that the narrative of togetherness, of cooperation, and through cooperation we will win, this is a narrative that's being woven on purpose. This narrative makes you make affiliations and friends, and those friends have reasons for what they're doing, and you don't know what those reasons are, but you go along with them because it's all, well, they're now your friends. They share the same attitude to the world or the same ideas, and you know, you have a great big new camaraderie. So you join in, and what this does is stop you following your own path and singing your own tune. So enjoy. That's right. Well, you did comment, didn't you?
Did I? Sorry. Let me just clarify. Have I clicked my channel on live to talk about you?
Say again?
Have I ever clicked my channel live to talk about you?
Did you go on Ranty's panel?
Have I clicked
Did you go on Ranty's panel?
I asked the question and I answered
Doesn't
it.
matter. What was your answer?
Who lives
This is
here?
my town. Why did you come to Stockport?
Who lives here?
Who? Donny?
Dolly.
Dolly? Oh, does she really? Where is she?
Sorry. Someone else, Antonio.
Very good.
Mate.
Say again?
Are you okay,
No, I must be crazy and a rapist. Huh?
I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
No, what it is this. Yeah. What it is this. You said this
Turn your
lady.
camera on.
No. Listen.
Turn your camera on.
Don't touch my stuff.
Shit.
Do you know who this woman is?
Yes, I do,
Who
yeah.
is she?
That's right.
Who is she?
Turn it on. camera on.
Sit down. So, how long have you been into flat Earth?
I don't answer the question.
Is it since about 2015?
Not when you sit down here and insinuate.
Is it since about
If you had been
2015?
cordial and civilized, I'd have a conversation with you.
No, it doesn't matter. You're not very cordial and civilized
I
yourself.
smiled at you when you sat down.
I know. Hello, who are you? Okay. So,
Are you getting it? Are you getting it good?
yeah, it's right here.
What is it you're
Okay.
here to do, Enzo?
I'm here to. I think you're a fraud.
I
Okay.
think you're a bit weird for going around
That's okay. That's okay. But I think you're a fraud.
whether I like it or not.
Because you said on your hangouts, I don't care. I don't care. But you've said that you've been doing this since 2015. You said you've been doing this since 2015.
I don't appreciate you. Coming over to our
I don't mind whether you
you
appreciate it or not.
coming over and interrupting our afternoon.
I'm talking to this woman.
Yes, there is. This man.
You asked this gentleman to leave.
This woman has been online with a group of people calling me a rapist, and I've come here to confront her.
Yeah, not in here.
Can you ask him to leave?
Can you ask them to leave too?
I'm sitting here having a quiet drink.
Yeah, these people have accused me
He's turned up
publicly of being a
uninvited.
rapist.
There's no public space.
I know, that's true. But are you going to ask these people to leave too?
He's still got the camera recording. He's still
I will leave. Will you ask these people to leave too?
I need to get you away from the situation.
Yeah, oh, I will. I will leave civilly, okay? And then you'll ask these people to leave too. Yep, smashing. That's right. Well, you did comment, didn't you?
Did I? Sorry. Let me just clarify. Have I clicked my channel on live to talk about you?
Say again.
Have I ever clicked my channel live to talk about you?
Did you go on Ranty's panel?
Have I clicked
Did you go on Ranty's panel?
I asked the question and I answered
Doesn't
it.
matter. What was your answer?
You're here to
This
tell
is
me.
my town. Why did you come to Stockport?
Dolly lives here.
Who?
Dolly.
Donny?
Daydream.
Dolly? Oh, does she really? Where is she?
Sorry. Someone else, Antonio.
Very
Are you
good.
okay, mate?
Say again.
Are you okay, darling?
No, I must be crazy and a rapist, huh?
I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't
Yeah.
really know.
No, what it is this. Yeah. What it is this. You said this lady. No. Listen,
Turn your camera off.
don't touch my stuff.
Shit.
Okay. Do you know who this woman is?
Yes, I do,
Who
yeah.
is she?
That's right.
Who is she?
Turn it off.
Yeah. So sit down.
Turn the camera on.
Sit down. So how long have you been into flat Earth?
I don't answer the question.
Is it since about 2015?
Not when you sit down here and insinuate.
Is it since about
If you had been
2015?
cordial and civilized, I'd have a conversation with you.
No, it doesn't matter. You're not very cordial and civilized yourself.
I smiled at you when you sat down.
I know. Hello, for you. Okay. So,
Are you getting it? Are you getting it good?
yeah, it's right here.
What is it you're
Okay.
here to do, Enzo?
I'm here to. I think you're a fraud.
I
Okay.
think you're a bit weird for going around.
That's okay. That's okay. But I think you're a fraud.
Whether I like it or not.
Because you said on your hangouts, I don't care. I don't care. But you've said that you've been doing this since 2015. You said you've been doing this since 2015.
I don't appreciate you coming over to our.
I don't mind whether you appreciate it or not.
coming over
Okay.
and interrupting our afternoon.
I'm talking to this woman.
Yes, there is. This man.
You asked this gentleman to leave.
This woman has been online. This woman has been online with a group of people calling me a rapist, and I've come here to confront her.
Yeah, not in here.
Can you ask him to leave?
Can you ask them to leave too?
I'm sitting here having a quiet drink.
Yeah, these people have accused me
He's
publicly
turned up
of being a
uninvited.
rapist.
There's no public space.
I know, that's true. But are you going to ask these people to leave too?
He's still got the camera recording. He's still
I will leave. Will you ask these people to leave too?
I need to get you away from the situation.
Yeah, oh, I will. I will leave civilly, okay? And then you'll ask these people to leave too. Yeah, smashing. It doesn't matter. We'll see how the sound is. So we're outside Stockport Produce Hall, where I just confronted Toxan Gregory about teaming up with people who are calling me a rapist. And with Dan Winfield, who's being very shy, he's got his pint. And Toxan is sat there with 4 guys, and 2 of the guys, one with missing teeth and a little squirrel of a man, both get up and threaten me. You better get out and knock your block off and all of that. The manager is stood there right next to me, and I said, and she said, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I said, oh, I will leave, but then you'll ask these people to leave, right? Well, I'll talk to them. I said, okay, well, I'll leave. I'll be all civil, I'll leave, but I expect you to get these people out for threatening one of your patrons. She hasn't done. She's just been at the door looking to see if I'm here, and I am here. Oh, is that them? Are they coming out? Anyway, so I carry on with Toxan. They switch my camera off and whatnot. So I say, I'm here to expose you as a fraud. They're like, oh, you won't. And I tell them, look, this woman is a fraud. I said, how long have you been in this flat earth stuff? She said, I'm not answering any questions. It's on the tape. You'll see it on the video. You'll see. So, that was Toxan Gregory. Are they leaving? No. And then I said to the manager, if they don't leave in the next 10 minutes or so, I might call the police, because you're not allowed to defame people and slander them online. But I haven't actually heard Toxan doing it, so I don't think I will. Because it'd be wasted police time. It's a shame Riley isn't here. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you all later. There they are, look. On there. Over there. Looks like the manager was a woman of her word, because they've left. There's Toxan Gregory in the pink. He's got a dog. But, hey, at least the manager was fair. Looks like I won't have to call the police, which I would have been. It would have been. I'm going to go and speak with the manager. Okay, bye. So that's that. Feel free to go in there and have chats with the people who are commenting. Now, thanks to Madame Medusa, you see, 2 of the people there, Chinless, missing tooth guy, who, by the way, almost walked into the wall, tried to come over and be the big man. And there was this little runt of a man, tiny white-haired man, I mean an old man, who threatened to knock me out. I told him to sit down, you know, but just these people who have these ideas. Now what usually happens when such pathetic people, like, come on, you want some, and people like me, or like many of you in the chat, when you see this, you go like, and you walk off. Now the little runt goes, yeah, walk off. That's what happens. You could just plant them a straight fist punch to the forehead and watch the eyes just go like, what the heck? You know? Like, you could just do that very easily. Punk. And just, that would be the end of it, you know? But you don't, because they're that pathetic. Well, Madame Medusa passed me this, and this is just class.
No friends. You've got no friends.
They're fucking Ulster playing well. I'm telling you.
Well, you want some?
Hey?
You want some?
Well, the Ulster playing well, wouldn't
You want some or what?
you? You read?
You want some
They're
or what?
fantastic.
He's saying, do you want some or what? Now, for those of you who don't know, in Britain, that's language for So do you want to fight? Do you want some? Do you want some pain? That's what this little runt of a man is saying. So listen.
They're fantastic.
You're playing shit until you've got no friends.
What
You're a
else?
load of waiters. If you want some, I'll give it you. You'll do it, mate.
See? Anyway, that's what those guys were like. Now, I met two guys, one of whom just couldn't handle the fact that the imposter is transgender, you know. At one point, unfortunately for him, he said, yeah, we spoke about, like, technical flat earth things first. Then we went and sat down, and we started talking a bit more of the social thing. And he said, yeah, this thing with the imposter. And I said, well, I know a thing or two about the imposter. You know, it lived with me for 2 months and it's transgender. And he went, I said, yeah, I mean, like, he'd mentioned he had a wife, this guy, and the other guy had a wife. I said, you know, like, you both have wives. Like, how many vaginas have the same colour on the inside as the outside of the skin? Like, and the guy's just like, he visibly sickened. And I'm going to go and check up on my wife and walked off. Poor sod. That's what happens. Then we had a really good chat with the other guy. I mean, altogether we had a really good chat, Dan and I. So, that's what happened. Now, by the way, afterwards, it turns out, they went back into the pub. But you wouldn't believe what a badge shown to the manager will do. I'm just saying that, okay? I do happen to have an ex-girlfriend who worked for Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs and had a badge. I know some of the terminology, I'm on the job and stuff like that. Because what happens is sometimes Her Majesty's Revenues and Customs, who walk around in plain clothes unless they're actually on an exercise or a task to actually storm a place and arrest people, then they wear HMRC stab vests and the uniform, okay, with the handcuffs and all of this. But if not, they're in plain clothes, in plain cars. Now, sometimes what they're doing is they're monitoring drugs. Not so much now, the drugs are more a different branch, but they're monitoring, and sometimes they're usually monitoring things like contraband tobacco. And they'll monitor a shop that they suspect or they know is selling contraband, and they'll be outside. Now, these kinds of shops tend to be in the dodgy areas of town. The dodgy areas of town also have people selling cannabis, cocaine, and other things, and those people have spotters. Teenagers or just guys that, you know, they have looking out for them. And what these guys do, they're on bicycles, just mooching about. That's all they do, mooch about, and like, oh, that car's been there for a while, let's go and have a look. So they go up and they see two people who don't look like they belong in the area, so they start hassling, knocking on the windows, what you doing here? And if the guys are not doing anything, they're waiting for the daughter to come out, or the hairdressers, or when the window down, where's my freaking daughter, you? We're all right, sorry, mate. But if they're secret people, security people, or authorities, they'll just switch the ignition on and drive off and be replaced a few minutes later by a different car in a slightly different location with the same with two like people, okay? That's what happens. Now, sometimes because they're in dodgy areas, there'll be parts somewhere, and a policeman will walk along and think, that looks suspicious, I'm going to go and see what they're doing, and knock, knock, knock. And what they do is they open the window a little bit, and they say, I'm on the job. And they show their badge without holding it up, so that people in the street can't see that they're holding a badge up. They hold it right down by their lap, and they say, I'm on the job. And the policeman just say, oh, sorry, mate, and walks off. If somebody goes into a place like a Stockport Produce Hall, and there's been the kind of situation that was there with me, the situation was, these guys kept getting up and throwing hissy fizz. I was sat down quite calm. Roxanne was sat down quite calm. These two guys, that was the situation. After this, a manager asked me to leave. They all left, by the way. Like 10 minutes later, they all left. But later, it looks like they went back. All it takes is for somebody to go up to the manager and say, we're on the job. All right, okay. So back they come. I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm saying that that definitely does happen in this world. Now I'm going to play something. It hit me earlier. So that's that silliness done. It hit me earlier that if I were not a flat earther, and I was looking at all of this from the mind of a globelink, well, my own mind when I was a globelink, I would become a flat earther just by looking at the stuff that globelinks put forward. So I'm going to play a series of things. And you'll see what I mean. Because I had a discerning mind back when I was a globelink. I just didn't use it for reconsidering the globe idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a portion of this, which we've all seen before, but I want to bring attention to the stripes on this flag. You see the very bottom starts with red. There's no other colour under the bottom. When they take this flag onto the ship, this is the way they have it, with the white stripe at the top and no white stripe under the red at the bottom. Now I'm going to jump ahead and oh, sorry. Oh, look at Gollum there in a wig. Right, let me play it.
Daddy, come on, Daddy! And as he gets farther and farther out, he'll start to lose the stripes.
And what's really interesting...
Yeah! Gollum! Oh, Gollum! Gollum! Look at those long arms. Just like Gollum. Sorry, just had to say it. Look at those long arms. Quick, bend the elbow in case people notice. Stand like this. I'm not Gollum. I'm waiting, going ahead. Oh, let me do this one. And, right.
All they get out of Mark is a vague.
And a bit more, and a bit more. Here we go. Now they're supposed to be reaching the horizon.
At first, all the stripes are clearly visible.
But listen.
And sure enough, as the boat reaches the horizon, the stripes
Well, I'll play it and then I'll come back to this.
begin to disappear, one by one.
Lost about 1.5 stripes.
The guy just said, we've lost 1.5 stripes. We can see approximately half of the red stripe, which was the stripe at the bottom of the flag. Remember? There wasn't a white stripe under that. The bottom of the flag was red. They've lost approximately, well, half of the red-ish, maybe. But this is the point. If I was watching this as a globelink, I'd be saying, that's not the horizon. That flag isn't obscured by the horizon. You can see the horizon behind them. In fact, there's no horizon in this shot because there's landscape. At most, there's a skyline. So, just so people understand, you either have the horizon or a skyline. A skyline is where the horizon is interrupted by features like buildings or houses. Okay, here, or terrain. Here, there's terrain. You can see, those aren't clouds, that's terrain. So I would have watched this and gone, what? If these guys are supposed to be scientists, have they not figured out that the boat should be at least at the farthest point of that blue water? Watch.
This can only
It's water. All of that there is water. And it's like, this is very shoddy, and I would have said to my other globing friends, guys, what the heck is with this? They're not at the horizon. So that would have prompted questions to me. Now we're going to look at this. So this is what you do to try to confirm the globe. You go and look at something like this. Feather and coin in a vacuum. MIT Department of Physics Technical Services Group. I'm going to move ahead. It's the shoddiest experiment because, well, apart from anything else, you have all of these lights that are making it difficult to see what's going on inside the tube. The tube is at first unevacuated, then evacuated, or close to vacuum. Okay? Now I'm going to play, I'm going to just move ahead. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So, and I'm going to play it with volume. You might see there it says, well, listen to the coins hit before the feathers. This is when it's not evacuated. Now the evacuated tube. Now the coins and feathers arrive at the same time. It's what it says. It could still say, now here the coins arrive before the feathers. I'm going to go back. Okay, listen to the coins hit before the feathers. This is unevacuated. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to listen for the coins versus the feathers. We're not going to hear the feathers, we'll see the feathers, but we will hear the coins. That was quite a cling clonk. Let's go back. It's like one of the coins suddenly went a lot faster than the other coin. That's interesting. It's almost like the other coin was kind of caught with the feathers. But listen. Ding, clonk. Okay, let's watch some more. Ding. Okay, now we're going to go back in this one. Because with this one you can actually see, well, keep watching. Oh, I think it might have been the one before. Just a second. Yeah, no, it was the one before. So we'll go back. You can see the coins. And then you can see the feathers. It's like, hello. You can hear the coins arriving and see the feathers after you've heard the clang of the coins. And at one point you can see, I think it might be this one. Is it? No, next one. You can see the coins ahead of the feathers in the evacuated chamber. I'm just going back. There you go. Right, so pay attention to the tube. You see a coin there near the bottom. Well, part way up, in fact, about halfway up the tube on the left, there's another coin. In the next frame, what will appear to be this same coin down and to the right just slightly, it's not this coin, it's the coin that's halfway up the tube. Watch, this is the next frame. 3, 2, 1. That coin, that's the second coin. Can you see that the feathers are farther up the tube? This is in the evacuated tube. Now I'll hit the next frame. Next frame. There's the feathers. Now let's go back. There's one coin. Now this coin carries on going up. Now we have the other coin. This is MIT supposedly proving that in a vacuum, the coins and the feathers fall at the same time. But it didn't take me very long to look at this, and this was shown by Peter and Pete, and they didn't even highlight this. I looked at it and I thought, hey, the heck, why aren't people highlighting this? Why are the coins falling ahead of the feathers in the evacuated chamber? And quite clearly too. Huh, that's peculiar. So, this would prompt me to look more into it. I would look at something like this and go, wow, well, these guys are really messing up these globe. Believe it. I'm feeling a bit nervous about the globe. So you might go then and try and get some peace with this. Hello, it's our friend. Let's listen to what our friend is saying.
When I first thought about spacewalking before I did it, I thought it would be a very daunting experience, almost scary. But it turned out that it was just an incredibly beautiful experience that I was really well.
Oh, so you look at this and go, ah, there you go. They do have stars in space, thanks to Lee's rules. Look at all those multicolored stars. Can you see the multicolored stars? I'm going to paste a link to this in the chat, by the way, in case the transmission is not so clear as to show the multicolored Christmas light style stars. And you might say, well, so this is being filmed from somewhere. They must have, I don't know, Christmassy lights or something in the background. It's reflecting on the window through which it's being filmed. Something you try to rationalize. So if you zoom in on areas, you see like, look at this. You can see the stars, well, right through the ISS, right through metal parts of the ISS, which makes you think, oh, well, no, these stars are superimposed. That's what it is. Go, okay, superimposed stars. Let's look at this package. I'm circling it with my cursor, but you can't see. To the top of the screen right now, there's a package that's tethered to the astronaut. This is supposed to be the woman that was talking. We're going to watch this package, you know, considering that these multicolored stars are just superimposed. We're going to watch this package, well, occlude the stars. I'm going to go frame by frame. There's some pretty nice green, two green and two, well, kind of red and purple. So just keep watching the parcel as I go frame by frame. And you can do this at home. By the way, so the astronaut now has a great big light, but also has somebody shining a great big light on them. Can you see how the red star has just now in the envelope of that parcel? But no, it's kind of gone. Okay, keep looking. Oh, look, looks like a yellow and an orange star have appeared that were behind the parcel. Let's go back. So I'm now going back. Just above the parcel and to the left, there's a yellow and an orange star that we couldn't see before. So I'm just going back slowly. You might also wonder to, like, why anybody would superimpose these on a NASA transmission. It's like, because this is NASA, by the way. Okay, this isn't some group that is not NASA. So, there's the stars. You can maybe still see them, maybe, I don't know. Okay, and now we continue going forward. I'm going to go ahead 10 seconds. Right. Now, we're still looking at that package, and we're going to see it occlude stars. But wait a second, aren't the stars simply superimposed? Well, no, silly. If they were simply superimposed, the children would think those stars are superimposed. The intelligent children would say those stars were superimposed. Instead, the very intelligent children will look at this footage and go, those are not simply superimposed. Those have been edited to give the impression, the very brief and quick impression of multicolored stars in space. That's why they've cut them out with things like that parcel and also the astronaut. We look at the astronaut's foot, the astronaut's feet. I'm going to go back. And you'll see that the astronaut's feet also hide the stars. It's like, that's interesting. It looks like they're not just superimposed. And you might say, no, well, what it is because those things are lighter in value, you can't see the colour. Well, then all you have to do is look for something that's light in value and see the stars. Like here, just look around and you see things that are light in value where you can see the stars. Okay? It's interesting. Of course, you have more contrast when it's a dark background, those shiny Christmas lights. So, what is this processing of footage that NASA's doing when talking with children? And you say that NASA doesn't process footage, that they just, well, stream things. Look, this is NASA video. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show that what's actually happening is some school children are asking questions to the astronauts. Those stars, those beautiful twinkling stars, are for the students. You see, the students have a great big cinema screen on which this thing is a special day for the students, okay? They have a big cinema screen, or a great big screen, where the astronaut, they can see the astronaut. Oh my gosh. So when they cut to the astronaut in space, inverted commas, that's what the children are seeing. The children are seeing those multicolored stars.
Just having
Watch.
that exploration spirit at this point is what's really important. Take a look at the world around you and think about all the things that you can learn about it.
Hi, my name is Luca Montagna and I'm in 3rd grade. My question is, can you describe what it is like to spacewalk?
These are 3rd grade students. I think they're sort of 5th grade students. These are very young children. Now imagine that what they were being shown was Santa Claus. Because these children believe in Santa Claus. The age of these students is still the age of students who believe in Santa Claus.
Yes, I can. When I first thought about spacewalking before I did it, I thought it would be a very daunting experience, almost scary. But it turned out that it was...
Wait a second. Let me just go back a sec.
all the things that you can learn about it.
1 second.
Hi, my name is Luca Montagna and I'm in 3rd grade. My question is, can you describe what it is like to spacewalk?
Yes, I can. When I first thought about spacewalking before I did it, I thought it would be a very daunting experience, almost scary. But it turned out that it...
Anyway, we don't need much more. Now, just so people understand, let me go back. You see the person holding the mic?
Question is,
That's somebody from a television station. That's not a teacher. Now, we understand that teachers don't have to be that much brighter than these students. Of course not. I mean, all you need is 4th grade education to be a 3rd grade teacher, right? It's a joke, but you know what I mean. They don't have to be that much brighter. I mean, their size alone will command respect. But the person holding the mic is from a television station. So the students are having somebody from a television station who's going to be... They've seen them on TV. They've seen them on the news because it's a newscaster. They've seen them on the... This is real. This is definitely serious. Now, the newscaster, the woman, she knows the gig. She knows how false things are that they portray on the news. So she knows that she's engaged in a propaganda campaign with the students. The teachers don't necessarily have to know. I just wanted to point that out. Now, remember, I'm now a Globelink, and I'm looking and I'm going, wait a second, this is messed up. They really messed up, these National Geographic guys. That's nowhere near the horizon, and that's not 1.5 stripes, that's half a stripe, if that. That, like, whoa, this is really messed up. That how an imprecise scientific experiment can one have? And then you'd look at, well, the coins and the feather and go, whoa, they're really messing up. And then you look at the stars in space. Okay, well, the spacewalk, and you go, what the hell? Why are they processing this footage? So then you start getting a bit more serious, and you look at this, and I'm going to play this for as long as I need to. This has been played before. This is the silver bullet to flat Earth. This is what would kill flat Earth. However, this silver bullet also kills the globe, and it turns out the ones who have this bullet chambered are the flat earthers. We have this silver bullet against the globe.
To understand any gyroscopic instrument, you must understand...
Apologies for the sound, is obviously very old footage.
...the principle of the gyroscope. It consists of a rotor mounted in a gimbal. The rotor can spin in one plane only. When another gimbal is added, a second plane of movement is possible. And when this assembly is mounted in bearings, the rotor has 3 planes of movement and can assume any possible attitude.
So, for the Globalists who don't really understand, who think that you must have more gimbals, I'm going to replay that. Listen very carefully.
This assembly is mounted in bearings. The rotor has 3 planes of movement
The rotor has 3 planes of movement
and can assume any possible attitude.
and can assume any possible attitude.
This is now a freely mounted gyroscope. A spinning gyro has 2 important properties: precession and rigidity in space. All of its practical applications are based on these 2 properties. As for rigidity in space, the spinning rotor remains in its original attitude, while the gimbals and base move around it. In other words, the gyro maintains its axis in relation to space and not to the surface of the Earth. If a gyro moves around the Earth,
Specifically, its relationship to space and not the surface of the Earth. Not like the argument for level that the Globelings have. Oh yeah, no, it's just level but sideways, you know, depending on your attitude. This is not that thing. This is literally free regardless of the space that's under it, including a spherical Earth.
its axis is vertical to the Earth's surface here, at an angle here, and horizontal here.
Now, let me go back a little bit and move it ahead a tad. He's going to move it to what looks like about maybe 60 degrees north. Let me just see. Or is it a bit lower? Come on. I'm moving one frame at a time. So that would be a gyroscope at the North Pole. There you go. That would be about the 50s, let's say. Okay? Latitude. If the gyroscope was on that spherical Earth and spinning, and this globe was spinning, the gyroscope would maintain its rigidity in space and show this rigidity compared to its environment, meaning the room in which it was. So this would be a gyro in situ, where the location is fixed to the Earth. As the Earth rotates, the gyro would show this rotation by showing apparent drift. Apparent drift is not drift. It's the appearance of drift because the base of the gyro has shifted, rather than real drift, which could be caused by a variety of different things, which would make the gyro lean over, change its attitude. That would be drift. Apparent drift is where the gyro is not actually moving, but the base is moving.
Here, and horizontal here. The gyro will resist any force that attempts to change its plane of rotation.
The gyro will resist any force that attempts to change its plane of rotation.
This leads to the principle of precession. When a downward force is applied here, the gyro moves, but not in the direction of the applied force. Instead, it moves at right angles to the applied force. This action is known as precession. If an upward force is applied at the same place, the gyro again precesses at right angles, but in the opposite direction. The explanation is simple. The rotor is spinning in this direction. When the force is applied, the gyro precesses in the direction to align the direction of rotation with the direction of the applied force. The rate of precession is in direct proportion to the applied force.
Now, we don't need to watch much more of this. We'll go instead here I will watch this, gentlemen. Because this is what I would do if I was considering still that we lived on a globe, having watched things like, well, what we've seen, some of the silliness that has been put forward on behalf of the globe or supposedly to support the globe. That would have prompted questions in me. I would have looked further, and those things would have prompted further questions, and so on, which is exactly my path to flat Earth. That's exactly what I did, and that's what most flat earthers do when they come across it. Most genuine flat earthers.
Clockwise from your motion going like this. I also...
So he's going to rotate it clockwise. From the way we're seeing it, it's going to rotate where the top is spinning towards him.
Spiral marking on the flywheel so you can see that the gyroscope will be moving. Alright, here we go. There we go. Now the gyroscope is spinning about 3000 RPM in this axis. And as you can see, if we try spinning this gyroscope around this axis, it's going to want to resist movement. Here we go. Let's see what this gyroscope wants to do if we try to spin it in this axis. There we go. I'm going to try pushing the gyroscope the other way, pushing the right hand side of the gyroscope towards you, and you're going to see what it's going to want to do. There we go. Now, if I orient this gyroscope so it's spinning straight up and down, it's going to be very easy to spin it. There we go. But only in that direction. If it becomes dislodged from that direction.
This is called gimbal lock, where the gimbals are aligned so as to remove one of the axes.
It's going to want to resist. There we go. It's going to be very hard to spin it. As you can see my fingers are trying to apply some force.
Now, he says my finger is trying to apply some force. That force is called torque. Now, for the Globelings who don't understand this, it takes rather a lot of torque to make the gyro move. So the way he's pressing with his finger, quite a lot of pressure to make it move. And that pressure is torque. I don't think you can get a lot more torque than the torque that would be exerted on the gyro by Earth's inertia. Just think of how much torque that would be. Imagine being Archimedes with a great big long pole trying to stab it into the earth to slow it down, and how much force would be engaged in that to slow the earth down. That's because of globe Earth's inertia, according to their model. It has quite a lot of torque. So when Globelings say the gyros are not sensitive enough to have Earth's torque cause them to precess or show apparent drift, it's because they don't know what they're talking about.
Spinning it. And it's very difficult to try to spin it with a gyroscope moving at that speed.
Now I'm going to go to Rob Durham's page. Where is it? Here's Rob Durham. So Rob Durham did a series of experiments with gyroscopes, including replicating Foucault's gyroscope. I think this might be it. He does a really good job of explaining everything. No, this is not the one. He has another one. I'll find it. Where he basically replicates Foucault's gyroscope. Might be this one. I don't know. Let me see.
Hi folks.
Nope, it's not this one. He sets up a system. I'll find it sooner or later. If somebody finds it in the chat, please share it and people can watch it whilst I'm looking for it. Oh, by the way, he also did a perfect... Oh, I'm going to hit it here. I won't play it, but you can watch it at your leisure. Flat Earth 2017 Eclipse animation to perfect scale. This is perfect scale to 12 decimal places with the data from the US Naval Observatory and NASA. Guess what? It doesn't work. Oh, that's a surprise. And to scale, the point is, to scale. But no, I'm looking for the gyroscope. Where he sets up a gyroscope. Let's see if it's this one again. Maybe I skipped ahead too
So
much.
there's a rumour going.
Sorry, just excuse me. It's an afterthought to show this. Aha! Is it here? No, it isn't. But let me see. No. Now, Wolfie6020, don't think I've forgotten that you offered to put me out of my flat earth misery and show a gyroscope showing apparent drift. Remember, it was a bargain that we had. We made a deal that you would show that and then I would do a flight plan. First you would show that, then I would do a flight plan. I'm ready to do the flight plan as soon as you show that. Now, where is it, dagnabbit? Maybe this one. Oh, I can't find it. Good Lord. Right, let me go into the chat in case somebody has it or knows what I'm referring to. Just give me a second. Let's go here. And let me look in the chat. Nope, I don't see anybody with a link to it. Ah, well. I'm pretty sure it's... where is it? John Savage? I'm pretty sure it was Rob Durham. Yeah, nobody in the chat with a link to it. Never mind, you can look for it yourselves. The point is, what the chap does is he takes the gyroscope. Let me just carry on looking whilst I talk. And because I'm male, I'm likely to have big long pauses. Oh wait, might be this one.
Hi folks.
Hi. Got it. Yes. Here it is. So I'm going to play a portion of it. Now he's an engineer. Ha! Funnily enough. Oh, an engineer's looking into this. So, let me go back to sharing. Here it is. It didn't take that long. We're going to watch some of this. I've watched it all. In fact, I've watched his videos several times. They take some study. But hey, if you just want to be a kumbaya, I want friends who also think likewise, then go away. This is not for you. This is for people who like to actually know things. So let's watch with the audio.
Called a low friction pivot point.
So this is for people like Wolfie6020, okay?
The gyroscope. So for the low friction sort of bottom pivot point, I'm going to be using one of these, which is a speaker spike. You have 4 of these and you attach them to the bottom of a speaker, and the idea is that because only a tiny little bit of the surface is making contact, it prevents resonance and loss of sound. That's the idea anyway. But I've bought this and I'm going to use it as the bottom part, so this will sit through here.
So that's
Once I've
gonna
threaded it properly.
That's gonna play the role of the bottom bearing. You see, the Globeings keep saying, "Oh no, the Earth doesn't have enough torque to force the gyroscope. Well, to force the base to follow Earth's motion, whilst the gyroscope retains rigidity in space. Because you see, the bearing is so tight that it can withstand Earth's torque." That's right. That's what they think. You know, it just makes the gyro kind of just move just a little bit along, you know, like it doesn't have rigidity in space.
I might have to cut a bit off the top, shorten it down a bit. But essentially that's going to be the part that contacts with this part here. It's called a low friction pivot point.
Okay folks, this is the assembled experiment. So I've used a lap stand and I've modified it by drilling 3 holes into which I've inserted some adjustable feet so I can level the thing, and you can see that it's nice and level. I've also drilled another hole into which I've fixed a bolt, which you can just see sticking up there. Obviously that's height adjustable as well, and above it we can see this gimbal, and you can see the speaker spike inserted into it. It's suspended via these 2 lifting eyes and a piece of cotton, just 1 strand. Probably not the best idea putting a piece of red cotton on this red background, but I'll just spin around here so you can see it.
It's almost like a NASA trick. It's invisible.
And I'm able to use this hex key adjustment here and higher and lower this gimbal. And I can lower it so that the speaker spike drops down nice and gently and controlled onto the bolt. So, as you can see, if I go to the end here, the little piece of metal you can see there is part of a pencil sharpener blade. I've just cut it in half, one on each side. So these, I guess, knife edge bearings here, they're not quite a knife shape, but the diameter I would guess is not far off the bottom of the knife on full course knife edges. And you can see I've perfectly balanced it using the weight that comes with the gyroscope on this side, and I've hot glued a bolt on the end and some washers, and I've just kept adding washers until I got it perfectly balanced with this socket that I've managed to fix onto the other side. It's a bit crude because I'd use these big long bolts. You can just see just there, look, but they're not impeding anything, so they're all good. But this thing is absolutely perfectly balanced now. I'll give you a quick demonstration. Obviously knocked it a bit so it's wobbling. As you can see, it's keeping sort of rocking back and forth. It will do that until it finds its level. Still moving. And you'll note that the whole gimbal is continually spinning. It'll spin this way for a time, and then it'll stop and start swinging back the other way. And then it'll stop and start swinging the other way again. It will eventually find its own resting point, but it takes a very, very, very long time. And it's very important to note this because I've discovered something with gyroscopes that I didn't really know before. I've not seen demonstrated on any gyro video. I've seen Eric Laithwaite's video video series on gyroscopes, and there's the other professor, I forget his name. There's quite a lot of gyroscope experiments and demonstrations, but I've never seen what I'm about to show you demonstrated before. And it appears that a gyroscope loses its rigidity in space property when suspended like this. So I'm going to spin it up and show you what I mean. It's quite bizarre, and I didn't know that this thing had this phenomenon actually occurred with gyroscopes. So I'm going to stop the video now and get it spinning. Okay, so I'm going to be spinning the gyro with my Dremel tool, and you can see there it's 33,000 RPM. That's no load, but it will virtually be no load once it's up to speed. Let's spin it up then.
Now you with headphones are thinking, I knew it was better to not use headphones. Turn the volume down though. I'm not a sadist. Now 33,000 RPM is the speed of the Dremel. That doesn't mean that's the speed of the wheel. Like, you have to look into like gear ratios, you have to understand that, but it's still rather fast that the wheel is spinning, and he could spin it much faster if he chose to do it at the center of the wheel rather than the edge.
So let's observe what happens.
Now it's only hanging from the thread. The base, the bottom bearing is not making contact. And what is happening is it's very slowly rotating, but not precessing. It's just rotating. Precession would be, well, the weight's going off balance, you know, rising on one side and lowering on the other. That would be precession. It's just turning as if it wasn't even spinning, as if it wasn't even a gyroscope. And this is new. What he's saying, this is new. I think he should write a paper about it, honestly. It's ever so slightly rotating. I'm going to jump ahead. You see?
Clockwise. Really, really quickly.
And this rotation is caused by the thread.
And it will continue to get quicker and quicker as the speed of the flywheel slows down. Like it's lost its...
Oh.
It is still working rigid in space. And just to prove that it is still working as it should, as a gyroscope does, let's impede the movement.
Oh, I want to make a mention to the gyro compass. Because the word gyro is in the term gyro compass, people assume that it behaves, well, exactly like a gyro. Only it's a gyro that's horizontal. It's not vertical. So this one would be spinning vertically. You'd say that the axis, the central axis, is horizontal. So the wheel is spinning vertically. If the axis was vertical, then the wheel would be spinning, well, horizontally. The gyro compass doesn't show precession or apparent drift when spinning on a boat and the boat isn't going anywhere. In fact, they have to spin the ship gyro compass before the ship gets going. They have to spin it for, well, rather a long time. And then they set north, because it has a contraption for setting north. And then there you go. Now, if the ship is left there, it could be there overnight, it hasn't drifted, you know, let's say it was left there 12 hours, it hasn't drifted 180 degrees. So, you see, Rock Lover, it doesn't quite work. You have to think about it a bit more. It doesn't show apparent drift.
You see what's happened?
I'm going to move ahead.
Very, very slight.
I want to get to the point.
See if it moves when this touches.
By the way, that ticking clock is hypnotic.
Did you see that?
It hit the crocodile cliff,
Assessed itself back up straight again,
bounced, and is now turning the other way.
and it's sending it back round clockwise now. Move it manually.
Now the bottom is touching. So the bottom gimbal. Oops. Right.
Let's see what it'll do this time.
Right. No, I want to see it with the bottom touching.
The thing is able to spin freely.
Nope.
Momentum in this flywheel.
Nope.
Then let me turn it. Okay, next experiment, I'm going to lower it down
There you go.
and get it to rest.
And that will be a replica of Foucault's gyroscope. You see, Foucault set up his pendulum, and people are like, don't be so stupid, this would only work at the North Pole. You go, oh, well, made this gyroscope thing. Yeah, true story, gospel truth. Can you bring it in and show us? No. Oh, it's interesting.
Bolt. Okay, so I'm going to lower this down now by turning this hex bolt and holding onto this little eye, and it'll lower this whole thing down. So let's just have a look at that.
There you go.
Very, very slightly resting.
But
Quite
resting.
in centre, but let's see what happens now.
Set the cameraman down. Set the camera down, man. I mean. you see, you're supposed to rotate and angle. So turn
Really going fast.
and see the levers, they should angle too. As you go off
Rigidity
center.
in space whatsoever.
What he just said is no rigidity in space whatsoever. This is a replica of Foucault's gyroscope. Foucault claimed his gyroscope 1 had rigidity in space, and 2, having that rigidity in space, displayed the appropriate degrees of drift for his latitude. Well, this is replicating that, and it doesn't have rigidity in space. Huh. Hot diggity damn.
Okay, let's try impeding it again.
So for the Globeings to say the bearing is too tight, it looks like if the bearing is very, very not tight, like the point of a speaker prong, well, it doesn't have rigidity in space, so it's not a gyro anymore, is it?
Now going the opposite way. Again, to show that it's behaving as it should. Obviously it wants to work its way off. I'm having to do it very gently.
Now look, see how once he stops pushing it with the screwdriver, it continues to turn, but the two weights don't continue to go off balance. That means it doesn't have rigidity in space. Let me go back.
Work its way off. I'm having to do it very gently. Okay, so this time I've let it come to a complete rest, and I've added a protractor and a paper clip as a marker, and we're on 129-ish in a minute. So I'm just going to give it a quick nudge and see if we can get it to come back to its original position.
So this man is not stupid, and he hasn't bent that clip, that metal area that he's got to show the azimuth or the protractor. He hasn't got that dragging.
Go. It's 128 now, it's close enough. Spin it up.
Volume down. Move ahead. Watch Wolfie. Where's Wally? Keep watching.
Okay, you'll note I haven't got it quite straight.
It's alright.
Slightly over to the right at the top. Let's just observe what happens here to this angle.
I'm going to move ahead.
Anyone guess what's going to happen?
I'm moving ahead. So, let's go back. The math will be shown later in the video, but at my latitude, the rate of apparent drift should be 0.2 degrees clockwise every minute. That's just the clockwise motion. It should also be the horizontal, but never mind that. 0.2 degrees every minute. Let's jump ahead. That's 2 minutes. And let's jump ahead. That's 3 minutes. 4 minutes. Up. And no. Now the globalists will say, you moved your camera, you must have nudged it or something. Okay. Show us what Foucault did. I put the camera down further to the left than in the first 4 minutes, which would make it appear like the gyro has drifted counterclockwise by half a degree. He's saying he put the camera down just a little bit further to the left. Not saying that it has drifted. And let's go ahead. I would have noted if observed, as it would mean the Earth was spinning the wrong way. Hey. Let's jump ahead. 5 minutes. 6 minutes. 7 minutes. Oops. Okay.
How by letting it come to a complete stop before spinning it up, it would appear not to show any apparent drift whatsoever in either direction. I've done it countless times now. I've got lots of different experiments on video in all different scenarios. Did it lots and lots of times, and not once did I see anything that resembles apparent drift either in speed or direction. We also saw earlier how a particular rotation or direction of rotation can be induced into the gyroscope. So it doesn't take too much of a stretch of the imagination to wonder if the rate at which it rotates could be controlled. And I'm just putting this out there for consideration. I'm not saying this is what it was for, but let's just take a look at the top of Foucault's gyroscope here and look at what the function of this could be. It looks like to me it puts a pressure on the pin there, and it looks like it's threaded. So you could fine-tune that if so desired, to slow the rotation down to a certain speed given.
Now, Foucault was known as a charlatan. Before he was taken in to the Royal Society or whatever silliness, funny feather club, he was a charlatan.
A bit of trial and error. I mean, I can't think of a logical reason why you would need this. I certainly didn't need anything like this in my experiment. The only other thing to consider, I suppose, is that this isn't actually the original gyroscope from the original Leon Foucault experiments.
Where is that gyroscope, Rob?
That one was lost.
Oh.
So I guess we'll never know what the actual one looked like. We can
fancy that. The first thing to conclusively prove Earth's rotation lost. Good heaven, it's almost like if they lost stuff to do with the first people going to the moon.
Presume that it looked similar to these ones. Anyway, that's the end of part one. I'm now going to move on to the aircraft instrumentation section to this.
And now I'm going to paste the link in the chat and you can watch it at your leisure. Copy. Hey. Thanks to Rob Durham for that. That takes some work, guys. There you go, in the chat. Thanks for that, Flat Earth Reset. There are some dirty people in this world, man. You know. Anyway. So, anybody who ever goes to Wolfie6020's channel, let him know I'm waiting for him to have a test where he shows the apparent drift, the appropriate apparent drift for his location in Perth. Oh, look at me all gloomy. And then I will do a flight plan. He keeps begging for flat earthers to do flight plans. He keeps saying they're not even intelligent enough to even understand them. It's like, well, guess what? Some flat earthers are pilots, you know. Some flat earthers are technicians with aircraft equipment. They know how to do flight plans. But Wolfie, like I said, I'm still waiting. Just, I know you needed to balance your gyro and you were having all kinds of problems, but don't be a chicken shit. Okay? Come on. Show your results. If it's not working, show that it's not working. You see, you're not showing your results. Makes it look like you're a charlatan like Foucault. That's right. That's right. I'm looking in the chat now, guys. Thanks, everyone. Flat Earth Reset Rise. The no teeth guy is who brought Rowan and Dolly the flowers. Well, he was trying to get lucky. It's not going to happen. But hey, we have delusions everywhere. Jan Smith. Hello. Jan Smith. Yeah. Anyway. I'm looking in the chat. Real gentlemen have no teeth. Writes Adrian Franazek. Ay. So, let me see if I still have the clip of the hard man. I might still have it. I hope I didn't close it. But I think I might have closed it. Oh, I did. Oh well. The guy saying, you want some? So this happened, and obviously I wasn't worried that anything was going to happen, because why would I need to worry? If anything did happen, then things would kick in and things would stop happening, you know. But it's just, so pathetic. So those people were so worried, and some of them, obviously, they're seeing their loved flat earth, sincere flat earth woman who's just trying to do kindness, and this guy that they don't know from Adam being nasty to her. Not really being nasty, I didn't swear to her, I just said that she was a fraud. But that's what they're seeing. Like, huh? And they can't figure it out, huh? But others know. So it's like, no, camera off. Like, wait, she streams all the time. They film people all the time. What is this? And when I said, you know, these people, this is a woman who's been with a group of people saying that I'm a rapist. And she's like, oh, really? Anyway. And yes, of course, Ranty didn't turn up. Right. I'm giving a wrench out. I see somebody without a wrench. Yeah, P900 cool pics. Nice to see you. So, a little announcement. I'm going to start doing a slot around this time or something like this with Orphan Red every week, unless we can't think of anything to do. To compete with Globebusters and those charlatans. That's right. Hey, guess what? Those charlatans, that's right, which some people have been suspecting all along of being a bit not quite truth seekers. Those people are pushing this Roxanne woman. They're promoting that Roxanne woman. That's right. Oh dear. Oh dear. So, I'm going to have a slot. We're going to talk real, serious flat earth stuff. Not silliness, no drama and stuff. Serious, scientific discoveries that are going on every day on the earth. Every day, there are physicists finding things that go against the mainstream and publish them anyway. They publish them because when we're talking experimental physics, they publish their data. That makes other experimental physicists have something to do who hadn't thought of the original experiment, and theoretical physicists have something to do, as in, well, let me see if I can explain this. So it keeps happening. It's happening on the earth all the time. Physicists, real physicists, going, well, we weren't expecting this to happen. What was supposed to happen was this other thing according to the theory, but what really happens is this in the real world. But you have the people like Globebusters who keep saying, oh, scientism, they never do serious stuff, it's all scientists. It's like, no, stop lying. They keep doing serious stuff and they keep publishing the serious stuff. They actually publish it. Later it gets picked up for peer review. And then it's like either mentioned in the scientific journals or not, but it's published. Now, in case people didn't already know this, the Department of Mathematics and Physics of a university in South America has offered to help flat earthers with any physics or mathematics work that they might be able to help with. That's right. They're like, hey, this is an interesting pursuit. We'll engage with this. And there's already been a guy, a physicist, who calculated how thick the flat Earth would have to be if the theory of gravity was correct and it was caused by mass. How thick it would have to be. It's not correct. The theory of gravity is wrong. Gravity exists. Gravity is just a word that's used for the fact that things fall. But there's also the fact that things go up. And they say, oh, well, they go up by virtue of the countering buoyancy from the pressure. No, it doesn't. They don't really know what they're talking about. They can see that things go up, they can see that things fall, and they have a theory for it. There's a real cause for things falling and a real cause for things rising. And that's what I'm going to be writing about and sending to these physicists. Take a look at this. See if you can explain it. So there you go. Madame Medusa, hey, thanks for the clip of the guy. You want to go? You want some? I know people like him. This is the thing, like, not really like that, but similar. Okay, so I know a guy who's just not very, very good looking at all, but he would try it with the women, and the women were like, sure. And he'd come back saying they couldn't handle it. And the kind of guy, like that little runt, is like, you want some? You want some? And the guys around, they're like, you poor sod. That little runt goes home thinking, yeah, of course I didn't want some, because I would have had some. It's not true. Like, instead, the guys thought, I'm not a bully. I'd be like smacking a child. Anyway, I'm going to read what Madame Medusa wrote. Hey, Dan W., thanks for coming with me yesterday. You need to do a cafe series. You need to do a cafe series where you go out and interact with others. Part 1 was with Dalibor. Part 2 with Rocks. Who's up for part 3? Hey, I could do that. Cafe series. I like that. I've been watching comedians in cars getting coffee. I like that. I'm going to start doing that. I meant to do that, actually. Now you mention it. I meant to do that with Rock Vibrations. I proposed it to her. We were planning to do it. I had to go to Edinburgh to get my passport. She lives not far from Edinburgh. We met, and I thought, why don't we do a thing where we just discuss stuff with the laptop and stream it on the channel. Anyway, we didn't in the end. Antonio, Americans are the new Swedish. They're blind. Not all of them. And Nisula, not all of them. Rock Lover meeting with Riley would be fun. Yes. Brief. as in, there's Speed. Oh, here's Riley. Run off, and then he goes by in his Knight Rider car. Oh gosh, I find myself doing this with my face a lot, which is a sign of disbelief. It is, but oh hey, so here's the thing. You know, as humans, that we have certain physical gestures that we do, which are gestures that are traditional or environmental. Your environment brings those gestures. For instance, in Spain, you say yeah a lot more than in England. You just do. Okay. Somebody, you make eye contact with the waiter. The waiter lets you know with his eyebrows, are you needing me? And you let him know that you don't by not dismissing him and looking away like you were French, but instead by going, nah, you know, just everything's okay. And then he goes, oh, cool. Okay. So there are gestures, and I'm not talking about swearing gestures or gestures of a insult or offense. I'm talking about more localized gestures. In Israel, they have this gesture, and it means patience or wait. In Spain and in Italy, this gesture means it was crammed. It was full of people. That restaurant is so good. It's like this. It's like this. It's a Spanish. It's like it's a Latin gesture. In Israel, it means wait, have patience. But there are gestures that all humans do for disbelief and for amazement, like complete, oh my God, how great, how amazing. There are gestures that we all share. We all share. Those gestures are also the gestures that deceitful people can't quite control. Interesting, huh? I don't mean those exact same gestures. That kind of ubiquitous or universal gesture system that humans have are the gestures that deceitful people can't quite control. So, for instance, the narcissist might be able to control doing certain things like touching the side of the mouth or their nose when they're lying, but they won't be able to control appearing completely natural. They won't be able to quite do that. They'll become a little bit more stiff, you know, like Oakley kind of thing. Anyway, I'm not looking in the chat. Reality Sunday. Reality Sunday? That sounds like a reality TV show. What are you doing, West Coast Wisdom? But coffee thing. Stephen Watson, Antonio, wrenching everyone is a great move to find out who's who. Respect. Hey, I'm not as stupid as I look. I need to sort this tooth out. This is, so my teeth, these two teeth are implants. I need to sort this one out. They did it wrong. And I've noticed lately, and I'm getting that sorted out. They don't come out, by the way. But, you know, they just that I mention it. You know, because of no teeth guy. Or wouldn't that be interesting? Come on then. Come on. Coffee. What would I call it? I'm scrolling back. Cafe series. I would call it the Cafe series, Madame Medusa. That's what I'll call it. Yeah. Anybody who wants. Yeah. Globally flat earther, as long as I don't have to go too far. As long as they're willing to come to Stockport. That's right. I can take them in the air raid shelters and get them lost. And then giggle as I go away. I won't. I've never been in there. It's scary. I imagine. Not really. But yeah. That's what I'll do. The Cafe series. I like that. Thanks for that. Roxanne. But Dan W, it doesn't count. I can't include Roxanne because I didn't have a coffee. I was there inside, maybe inside about 5 minutes, and I think I'm filming about 2.5 or 3, something like that. I sat down, I arrived, and there she is. Like, right, so I go around, I see there's a vacant place right in front of her. Right, that's lucky. So I go around, go there. She's like, hey, hello. And I sit down, and then she's got her laptop open, so I don't say anything in case she was talking to people. Hello. And I'm like, and I'm setting up the camera. And she says, yo, and I'm setting up the camera. I've said to her, like, I've given a gesture saying, wait for me to set my camera up. You're Antonio. Like, that's right, the rapist. As he clunk closes the laptop. Like, oh, what a shame. That stream's not on her channel. It's a shame, isn't it? Anyway. So I didn't have a coffee, so it doesn't count. So the next one will be the first one. We'll call it the Dalibor one. I don't know. Well, it's not called that anyway. So, we'll call the first one Coffee Series number 1. And then Dalibor can go around saying, "Oh, he should have had me in the number 1 because he's doing it because he's a shill and a troll. No, a shill and an agent. Yeah, I knew it. Poor Dalibor." Agent Franasek, well, you know someone is looking at you without seeing them. Say again. Maybe you said something earlier. I'm looking. Can you explain what you're saying? I kind of get a gist of it, but I'm not sure if that's what you're saying. Uppercut, tapping those fake plastic nails on the tabletop. Fake or not, it doesn't matter. You think I'm a fraud? You think I'm a fraud? That's what she was saying. Think I'm a fraud? Think I'm a fraud? Like, I asked you how long you've been in this. You see, for people who don't know, the reason I asked, because I don't watch Roxanne, so, but I've seen little bits of things. People have said, oh, go and look at this, so I've looked. So, according to Roxanne, she's been in this, at least looking, since 2015. And of course, she wasn't going to answer because she's not stupid. And she knew that if she answered, there would then be more questions that she wouldn't be able to answer. For instance, who was it you were watching in 2015? Because I can remember, Dan Winfield, most people that have been in this since 2015 can remember the people they were watching because there weren't that many. So you can say there was Wakey Wakey, Stinky Cash, Steer, but not for Flat Earth stuff. For Flat Earth stuff, Stinky Cash, Wakey Wakey, obviously Matt Powerland, Eric Dubay, Jeronism, Globebusters, me, Oakley in Britain, me, Oakley, and Martin Lidke, and mainly me and Oakley with me. Then ODD TV, but there weren't that many. Jeff Stewart, Flat Earth Reset, although he says that that's not him. They weren't that many. That's why I started doing this, because there were not that many people. And I thought, I think I can help with this. I think I can contribute. There was also Matrix Decode. There were channels that did some really good work and then disappeared. There was Rob Durham. Very soon after. There was Rory Cooper. There weren't that many, is the point. So if she said yes in 2015, I would have said, what channels? And then sooner or later, she'd have had to say, acknowledge, if she had been looking from 2015, I was inescapable, especially if it was watching the imposter show. So when it's then gone and said, I don't even know who this Antonio character is, like, not true. Anyway. Rock Lover, Jeff Stewart, also AKF Rathers Research. I think it is, dude. I really do. Uh, 2016 birthed many channels, West Coast Wisdom. Yeah, it did. Because of stuff that other people had put forward. A lot of it being completely wrong, but at least the questions were being asked, you know. And slowly you chip away the stuff that's wrong, but you don't find the stuff that's wrong unless you ask the question, you go about it wrong, you go, okay, well that was wrong, and then you ask again, and even that's how you get to the truth. You don't just go, let's look in the truth drawer. Oh, here's the truth. That's not how it works. And some of the channels, and then lots of silliness happened with monetization, and people say, Wakey asked for, I think, either £1 million or £3 million to buy himself a luxury plane to fly over the North Pole. Not joking, he showed the inside of this luxury plane with a salon inside, with a bed and everything. Oh yeah, I want one of these. Fly across the north, and then maybe fly over the south. Oh really? That's a bit wrong. Oh, so Matrix Decode, who teamed up with Wakey for a while, he did some really good stuff, and then he was pushed out of the Flat Earth because he was doing some really good stuff and wasn't really engaging, because he was in Spain. He wasn't engaging with some of the silliness that was going on elsewhere, silliness that I was involved with. And after I was kind of outed from the group, he engaged with me in some things. So, oh, you're out. So he's gone. Matrix Decode. He's gone. The main thing that he did, the thing that was absolutely fantastic, was he took he did a video of a sheet lightning storm in Spain from the terrace of his building. And he just happened, whilst processing the video later, he was just scrolling across the video, and it was all mainly just black. And he just happened to hit on a frame where for one frame, the entirety of the sky was illuminated like Solar Noon, including all of the colours of Solar Noon and all of the shadows of Solar Noon. But it was 3 o'clock in the morning. So plant pots and veranda and terracotta tiles and the colour of the plants and the flowers and the plant pots and the distant hills and the distant horizon or skyline, as if Solar Noon, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's why he had to go. And he doesn't know it. I spoke to him about it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. It was pushed out by a channel called Nora No One. Oh, sorry, No One's Flower, who came to see me, because this is what agents do. They go to meet people, so they can say, I've met them. Oh yeah, I can introduce you to such and such. Yeah, and then try to control. He tried to control it. I don't work well on when people try to control. I very quickly start thinking, I think you're trying to control me, and then the control doesn't happen. You learn as you grow, don't you? So No One's Flower, who has a wrench in Globebusters, by the way, made sure that Matrix Decode left. Now, if you want to know why Matrix Decode left or how he was made to leave, that's a story for another time, and maybe for somebody like Orb's Realm to tell people, not to drop you in it. But yeah, and there are other people out there who are flat earthers who know the story too and don't say anything. And I think that's wrong. If you know, you should say it. I have said it before, by the way, but I'm not going to go into it again, because then it sidetracks from everything else that I've been doing. So, Rock Lover. Lord Stephen Cornflake posted just 4 weeks after Math Powerland, option B, concave. Lord Stephen Cornflake was in prison for threatening to kill Barack Obama. If that's not the least American sounding name and the most Muslim sounding name, but definitely born in Hawaii. Really? I thought I was born in Kenya. But anyway, Barack Obama. I thought I've gone into the Twilight Zone when that happened. But anyway, he threatened to kill the president and was imprisoned for it and then released. And then, lo and behold, this concave Earth model. Yeah, he rendered it all, I'm sure. So, well, you know, gyroscopes don't work on that concave Earth. Sorry. They still show, nope, it's not rotating, and they don't precess when, well, circumnavigating that internal Earth. Sorry. The silver bullet for the flat Earth and the globe is the gyroscope. If somebody could construct a gyroscope that would demonstrate apparent drift appropriately for the location. So here's apparent drift for 53 degrees north. Here's the apparent drift for 41 degrees north. Here's the apparent drift at the equator. Here's the apparent drift. You see? That one gyroscope would say that the Earth was a spinning globe. But it seems like all the gyroscopes say this place isn't moving. So that's the ones that have the silver bullet chambered are we flat earthers. Anytime we can say, show me a gyroscope, show apparent drift. Anytime. But a globelink can't say, show me a gyroscope showing no apparent drift, because we go, sure, great, here we are. And they go, no, it's too tight. The Earth's torque isn't sufficient. So that's how it goes. We have the silver bullet. We flat earthers have the silver bullet. There's only one, and it's a mechanical gyroscope. It's not photographs of the horizon. That's going to be moved forever. Eventually, it will bring some actual understanding about light and how it works, which has been not understood. I think Gary Waybenger and No Fanfare are doing a good job of looking at that seriously, and Harry Baird. Yeah. But in terms of settling things, it's not going to settle it for the globelinks, because they're just going to say no, refraction, or no, whatever. But the gyroscope, that's the silver bullet, the mechanical gyroscope. Jan Smith was a crazy. He spent a lot of time on the conspiracy site Godlike Productions, also terrorizing the owners of said site. Even visiting their house was an ongoing stalking shitstorm. Jan Smith, you're talking about what's his name? Lord Cornflake. Poor delusional broken guy. Gamer Tamer, Saturday Night Live Pat predictive programming. Can you paste a link to what you mean? I'll show it. Rock Lover, Ranty backs whoever pays the most. It doesn't matter. Look, none of us know whether or not what's happening is this. Oakley has £300 that he passes to Ranty. Ranty passes it back to him. He passes it back and forth. That's the kind of thing that Oakley used to do. So when people started monetizing, I would be talking with him on Skype whilst we were watching whatever was going on, and he'd say, so say stay, I'm going to make a donation. I just made a donation, look at my donation. But the donations would just be sent back is an inner circle. So where people think they're making lots of money, he has conned some people out of 2 cameras, P900 and P1000, Ranty. But that's not going to make him any taller, any more charismatic, or any more intelligent. So it doesn't really matter. Cosmic Surfer, who will be the first to attach a gyro to a globe? Needs a video. Yeah. I have a globe. I could do that. I need a motor. I burned my motor out. Burnt it out. Fused it. They're not that expensive though. Don't put too much stock on things that... Look, anybody whose channel gives you the impression of Flat Earth being stupid, or for stupid people, or for people that have emotional problems or anger issues, like ranty, a rant is not a great thing. So let's say crazy Flat Earth, or Flat Earth for wackos, or globalist denier. Things like that, deep inside the rabbit hole. Globebusters, yeah, you could say that that's an okay name. But any of the channels that are ipso facto giving the impression that Flat Earth is something retarded, like ranty, just ranty. That's just stupid. It's like, it's not a clever thing. Just use your freaking name, dude. Anyway, please say in Spanish what you were talking about. The log distance participation alternative in Chile's conference. Wait, what? Atando cabos. Please say in Spanish what you were talking about. The log distant participation alternative in Chile's conference. I don't understand what you mean. The log distant participation alternative in Chile's conference. Atando cabos, pregúntame de otro modo que no entiendo. Rune Thorson, are anti-flat earth. Ranty flat earth. Are anti-flat earth. Sleeping Warrior, that's just probably the most retarded name. Sleeping Warrior. You're supposed to think sleeping dragons or sleeping tigers or sleeping dogs. Let sleeping dogs lie. But the word warrior means human. Okay. Sleeping warrior means sitting duck. That's what it means. That's how the British fought the Romans for all that time. Because they knew the Romans like, and okay, now we're going for food and relax and okay, and that's it. They would end for the night. And the Picts and the Engels, like, they're sleeping. Why don't we get up early and go and kill them all? Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. When they're sleeping. Custer used the same thing. You know, that's how he killed that many Indians. He would just ride into town and kill them all while they were sleeping. Sleeping warrior. Just sitting duck. He might as well call himself that. All confusion, writes Infinite Loops Lawson. Steve Watson, WC, I like your good self. Will give anyone the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes I need to shake myself up. Yeah, I think it is good to give people the benefit of the doubt, but you have to not engage in too much suspension of disbelief. You know, believing that they have good intent. Watch what they do. Just watch what they do, and you'll quickly see what they're doing. Is this effective? What are they doing? What are they doing it for? And if you get into the realm of how would an agent behave? What would an agent do? If somebody was trying to control the narrative, what would they do? How would they try to control the narrative? The Redpath, later. Dando cabos. No veo lo que... I don't see your comment again. Okay, so here's an example. Okay, some time ago, I get offered to go. I get asked to go to present the Book of the Sun at in Santiago, Chile. Okay, at the time, I'm having the Book of the Sun translated by a really good Spanish translator, Argentinian, American, but a PhD. Anyway, he's translating it into Spanish. We both asked to go and present the Book of the Sun in Santiago. And then I start to smell a rat. And then I start to mention that I smell a rat. And then the rat says, I'm sorry if there's been any misunderstanding. You mentioned that you were waiting for me to pay for your flight. I'll pay for your flight, even if I have to do so from my own pocket, out of the money that people have given me for buying tickets to go to the conference where you're presenting the Book of the Sun. That money that's in my pocket, I pay it out of my pocket. But it didn't. And it didn't pay Ricky's either. Oh dear, see how I smelt a rat? Well, turns out that there was a rat. I will go to South America, but I will go on my own. I will set my own things up, and I will go on my own good time. I might ask Ricky to come with me. I will do a tour of South America with the Book of the Sun. But I will do it, I will organise it, and it will not be costing people a small fortune to come and sit in a field to listen to me explaining whatever it is that I'm explaining. So, all of these conferences, just think about it, people. You don't need an expensive venue with overhead projectors and all of these things. You don't need all of that. You could simply meet in a park. It's free. So, but you don't make money doing that. And that's why that's not what's happening. That people aren't meeting in fields for conferences or symposiums or forums or what's the other word? Hey Loki. Exhibitions or whatever. Nope. In a nice expensive place. That way I can disguise how much I'm charging. Says the charlatan. Marcelo, son todos unos estafadores, Iru y sus súbditos. Traté de advertiros, muchachos. He's fine. Yeah, anyway. So, let me tell you a story about a flat earther in South America. This flat earther has given interviews on television, okay? And the reason that he's an interesting person to interview on television is because he's a flat earther and an architect. Not only an architect, but he has his own architect firm in which most of his family is employed. He's an architect. Like, that means money. You know, it's like medicine, architect. You know, when you go to university, the more years you're studying, the higher the ultimate outcome for your chosen career. Right, so, architect, TV interviews, great. Then there's a conference set up in Barcelona, mainly about lights. Like, maybe you should invite the guy who's written the Book of the Sun. But no. Eventually, Iru kind of accidentally has to, because Rick is with him, offers an invite to me, saying they'll find somewhere to house me, even though I'm from Barcelona and I have family in Barcelona. You know, but never mind that. Oliver Ibáñez, the highest ranking flat earther in the Spanish language, isn't invited to this conference. But who are invited to this conference? A whole bunch of cokeheads. That's right, a whole bunch of cokeheads. So, this South American architect who does TV interviews sits and has an intimate chat with other flat earthers about how he's sorry to have to put out his hand for donations to go to this conference in Barcelona, even though he's not speaking in it. He's not one of the named speakers. He would just like to go there. Despite being an architect. What architect needs to ask for donations to travel? Not right, is it? There's something not right there. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you guys don't know is going on in the South American side. And I thought at first that the South American side was unpolluted. Heck, oh, it wasn't. Anyway, uppercut, Antonio, and the real ones. Take care. Or keep it real, and your eyes peeled. Uppercut, yes, man. Yes, sir. You too. Same crazy eyes, right? Enough. Jan Smith. That's interesting what you're saying. Whatever it is that you're saying. Sideshows. Call them sideshows. Oh, that's a good. Yeah. These sideshows. I'm looking for what you were saying, Jan Smith. On a flatter classic tune, great smoke-filled memories of teenage years. Oh, okay. I don't know what it is that's being said. Voodoo Child, Roxanne. So there was another one, and this was what was she called? Karen Petit, who accused me of raping her. It's almost like it's a narrative, huh? Despite actually never having met me and two other guys, one of whom is in the chat now, accused us of raping her, although none of us had actually met her in real life. But then people are like, no, she doesn't mean rape, just using that as a euphemism for being rude or unkind. Like, I don't think that's what rape is. Yes, it's definitely rude, it's definitely unkind, but I don't think that that's what rape is. But anyway, so that person, history, Flat Earth Family United, all big names going, except me. I'd gone on before it was anything. A private hangout, which later made its way onto their channel. They had to pull it when I said, that was a private hangout. The heck are you doing putting it on, having edited it? Because what happened was this. They pestered me. She pestered me for weeks. Long messages pestering me. I showed these on my previous channel. Long messages pestering me for advice on map drawing. Because they were working with millions of data points for map drawing. And they were all perfect. And elevation and topography and everything. And I said, what coordinate system are you using? Because if you're using the globe, you're going to end up with the Gleasons, which is what they ended up with. Anyway, I kept telling them this. I kept asking them, and they didn't want to answer. Kept asking, and after like 3 or 4 times, like, right guys, going on here. I've asked this already like 3 or 4 times. Why aren't you answering the question? What coordinate system are you using? And then again, round the houses. Like, look guys, I haven't got any more time. I'll have to see you all. After telling them, if you're using the globe coordinate system, if you're using coordinates as they are, you're going to redraw the globe and splay it out, and you'll have the Gleasons. That's exactly what they did. That twat of a woman cut out the part where I was saying, the heck are you doing, guys? How about you answer this question? It's a simple question. We're not live. What coordinate system are you using? Because if you... that same thing, and you're just going to end up redrawing the Gleasons. It's wrong. The Gleasons is wrong. The landmasses to the south are way too big, and to the north, way too short. It's wrong. So... she edits those things and has me, hey guys, how you doing? Yeah, hey Antonio, we're drawing this. Like, huh, interesting, tell me more. That person, history. What will happen with Roxanne? History. What will happen with DITRH? History. What will happen with Jeranism? History. What will happen with Globebusters? History. Why? Because they're not actually contributing. They're not actually putting something down that's true, that can be checked, that's not based on naysaying. Anybody can go around naysaying. Anybody can say NASA's a fraud. Anyone can do that. What does that achieve? Nothing really. Put something concrete. But they can't because they're not that kind of people. They don't want to put concrete things. Because you see, if people start putting concrete things down, eventually everything has been put down. There's nothing more to do. And the whole thing ends. And they don't want the whole thing to end because it makes money for them. See? That's the reason for the debates and all of this. It's not a debate, it's a dispute. Right now, it's no longer a debate, it's simply a dispute. And, you know, just look at what people are doing. The people who are trying to get to places and put things down that are true and correct and demonstrable, those guys are kind of sideline, you know, quite to the side. Fanfare for these guys who want to prolong everything under the guise of wanting to end everything. Say, oh really, you want to end everything? Why don't you do something actually productive? See, that's how it goes. The charlatan doesn't come along and say, hey guys, I'm a charlatan. Why don't you believe what I'm telling you? The charlatan says, you shouldn't believe anything that I say. You should check for yourselves. And everybody's like, ooh, can't be a charlatan. He just told us to check for ourselves. We won't bother checking for ourselves. But at least he suggested it. Jeremy Sermon, Bob Nodell. Check for yourselves. Don't believe what we say. Check for yourselves. Down this avenue that we've just told you about. Check down that avenue. Like, let's control your thought and tell you, check down this avenue. Everything we said, NASA, liars. Say something that's correct and true. What's the size of that South America compared to North America? Just that question should kill any fake flat earther. Any fake flat earther. You guys in the chat, the authentic ones, look up the size of South America versus North America. I'm not going to tell it you. I could tell it you. I've had to look it up so many times and jotted it down, and eventually I was working with it. So look for yourselves so you don't hear me. You see, mainly you see two different sizes for each, but small discrepancies. Okay, well, depends where you look. So what you do is you look everywhere. Go, okay, generally this size and generally that size with small discrepancies. You have to then figure out, are they including the surface area of bodies of water within the continent, or are they excluding? Are they talking square footage of land? So you have to consider all of those things. You'll arrive at a very close approximation to the size. Once you know the size of the two, you can ask any flat earther, what's the size of South America versus North America? And if the flat earther doesn't say, are we including Greenland in North America, then they really don't know what they're talking about. Because the North American continent includes Greenland and all those like small fractured regions between northern Canada and Greenland. All of that region is classed as North America. So look at the land masses, and when you draw them down, you'll have that drawn. So that's it. Any of you guys who go into channels where people are talking gibberish, just say to them, hey, what's the size comparison between South America and North America? And watch them go, we don't even know where one stops being and the other one starts. Is it North America, and then South America, and then Central America? That's how you tell. That's one way of telling if people know what they're talking about, or if they're simply prolonging things because of the money. Adrian Franesek, I think no one of those shill organized conferences would be some false flag shit which will make us all look crazy and dangerous. They're already making people look crazy. So it's like this. Some of the people who go to the conferences, they really go there to meet like-minded people. But the kind of person who goes somewhere just to meet like-minded people is a needy person. That needy person who needs to be with like-minded people is the kind of person who will appreciate being with like-minded people and needs something. They need validation. That's why they want like-minded people. They need validation. Now somebody goes to them with a camera and a microphone, they can have validation and they can offer validation for other people to also be part of a group of people that are like-minded. So they say things like, Flat Earth tells you you're not insignificant, and silliness like that. It's like, wait a second, don't your children already tell you you're not insignificant? What's your framework in which you're walking around being insignificant? Do you not have anyone at all? If not, get a pet. Then now you're significant to the pet. See how it goes? It's just ridiculous. But those are the kind of people who are desperate and vulnerable and will pay lots of money to be with like-minded people, being bled by people like Jeronism, Eru, Globebusters, and all of the rest of the shills that go and organise these conferences. Anyway. So I'm now looking, so this Roxanne people, those people like, hey, it's not that they want a holiday in Europe paid by flat earthers. It's that they want to control the narrative and they want to be able to come back and say, flat earth took us all around the world, all around Europe, and we met lots of, it's like, wait a second, you know, if you go around Europe, there are countries where they don't really speak English. Do you understand that? But really what it is we want to do this so that we can come back having achieved the mission for you civvies. It's like, wow, that's interesting. But hey, it doesn't matter. They will go, I think, they might go to places where there are serious flat earthers who will have objections to what they're doing. Now, in Britain it's all fine because Britain, British law and whatnot. You go to France, they're hoping to go to France. Go to France and see what happens there under French law, where the French people have supremacy over the Brits who come in there saying, and the earth is flat, you know. And the French flat earthers are saying, stop telling lies. Stop misrepresenting. We are artists. We know that you're talking shit. Stop talking shit, or I will throw an egg at you. And then we'll carry on talking shit, and then they will have eggs thrown at them. Predictive programming. Should have taken some eggs with me, dagnabbit. Or a milkshake. Should have done that thing. You know this person, Ricardo Richard, is signing your Book of the Sun in Chile right now? Bobby, yes, I know. I know he is. That's right. He's signing my Book of the Sun, which he translated, because I'm not there to sign them, but I already said I wasn't signing them. I'm not interested in signing books. That's the opposite of... That's just stupid. It's just stupid. Yeah, it's signed. It means... No, it doesn't mean anything more. But yes, I know. And I am keeping my eyes open, Bobby. You know this person, Ricardo Richard, is signing your Book of the Sun in Chile right now? He just translated it. WTF. He translated it. He asked me if he could translate it. I said absolutely. And take as much as you need for translating it. And so be it. He's doing it. The Spanish are reading it. The South American Spanish are reading it. And soon the Spanish will be reading it. And cool. The more people that know what's in it, the better. It's also being translated into Russian. And soon it will be translated into French too. So, and Swedish. But yes, I do know, Bobby. Thanks. Cosmic Surfer. Strange how she can just leave her children at home for the duration. That's very interesting. Don't know how old the children are. But are they really the children? Or are they just... Do you want to play a game with us? We want to pretend like you're my children. Who knows? All I know is that she pooed her pants. When I said the rapist, clunk, closed the laptop. It was priceless, but the camera wasn't set up yet. Dagnabbit. And the other people on the table, oh, what's going on there? Because there was no shouting going on until the two little... You want some? You want some? Until those guys stood up. There was no shouting or anything, just chatting going on at the end of the table. Other people at the table. Interesting. Anyway, the French will throw eggs at them and say, Enough is enough. That's a good one. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Oh, dude. Yeah, that is a good one. An egg is an egg. Look at all Antonio's maps on his Patreon free. Where's Luca? They're in the description of the video you're looking at. It's Patreon. You hit there, and there's my maps. They're there, not so you give a donation, but so that you can go in and get the maps, and I don't have to mess around trying to set something up where people can go and get the maps. It's there. They're available. Look for the photo of the book cover, and under there's a small file, and that will download a series of maps. Then there are also individual maps there. So look at, there you go, right there. So Bobby, I am waiting. You should make more vids in Spanish. The Iru fans think you both are the same and they have no idea what's going on. Bobby, lo haré, I will do. We have an expression in Britain which is, what's the expression? It's about letting the chips fall, letting the chips fall how they may. Okay. It's an obscure expression, but it's like wanting to see to make sure what's what. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting to see to make sure what's what, so that I can say, hey guys, this is what's what. This and this and this, and this and this and this. I already know certain things, but I want to know the whole setup. And say, this is the whole setup. This person drug charges, this person, all the things. And there are some of those people have wrenches here. They're not chatting now. I'm not as green. And now it would be like, oh, Antonio, push. But it's like, I'm not so stupid, you see. Richard is selling the book, and the book says Antonio Subirás. And now if you push Antonio Subirás, all the people that have bought the book will go, hey, why are you pushing Antonio Subirás? I've read the book. It's very, very interesting. The heck is wrong with you? What have you brought? See? That's how you send a Trojan horse and you blow shit up. That's how. The book isn't a Trojan horse, by the way. The act of sending the book there is a Trojan horse. Now people will have to side this way or that way. There will be the people who have read the book and the people who don't know what they're talking about. And the people who have read the book will pass, eventually, if they all sell out, will eventually pass the book around to other people. They will do studies. They will make observations. They will see what's in the book is correct. They will pass it on. And slowly the charlatans will feel themselves more marginalized whilst trying to marginalize the author of the book and those who talk about it. But eventually that number will grow. It's like teaching a skill. Teach the skill. Now, whoop, watch that skill just flourish. Rocklover, when Patrick had Antonio profiled for being part of a UK TV flat earth reality soap opera, was shocked he turned it down. Didn't realise money doesn't motivate Antonio. That's right. In fact, I will tell you right now, one of the reasons that I'm not much more productive with in the world of art is that the money side of it is very off-putting to me. It's off-putting. I can have a painting that I really like and somebody makes an offer that's a fair offer and I think I don't really want to let it go. I don't want to let it go. I'd rather have the painting than what they're offering for it. And then people come and try to commission paintings, like they Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole tried. I gave him the money back. The painting that was knocked over by a cat, that later the imposter said, no painting ever took place. Like, really? Well then how did the cat get paint on its paws? Anyway, So when people try to commission something from me, it's like, no, nope. I kind of, what I like to do is paint, and when I see that somebody really, really likes it, I say, it's yours, you can have it. That's what I like to do. And that's why I'm poor, you know, but I don't care. Rune Thorson, it can be the most frightening thing for them, not controlling motivation through material goods. That's right. And you can see it with people. You can see it with people like Martin Litka. At first, Martin Litka, sincere, genuine, straight, boom, boom, and then money. And then, and now you have Martin Litka, the sham. Blood is thicker than water. Who will be translating the Torah? What Torah? The Shield Torah. If that's what you mean, I have no idea. And also I have no interest. Why do Globers... Oh, that's a good one. Gamer Tamer. Why do Globers, who I call Globelings, because they're fantasy world character, why do Globelings think Mercury is the cure for everything, even measuring reality? It's a good one. That's exactly it, Rock Lover. That's exactly what I thought. He writes, when you decided to be an artist, Antonio, I think you made your mind up. If money came, fine, and if it didn't, fine also. Yeah. What I did was I saved up. I had enough to... so when you start, you need certain types of validation. You want certain validation. So I had enough to live for 2 years. And I said, if I sell a painting within these 2 years, I will dedicate myself to it, even if I have nothing. And I sold one 3 months later. So, and it was a painting of an orbit. It was called Orbit Northwest. It was simply a black canvas with the corner of a sphere. That was the first painting I sold. I sold drawings before that, but that was the first painting I sold. Funny, huh? Rune Thorson, I don't know, I was planning on going when the tour hit Copenhagen. Now not so much. Bodyguards, laugh out loud, more like regular goons. Like, yeah, I mean, the goons won't be going. The goons won't be going. There'll be a couple of goons. I don't think it's going to happen. Myself. Antonio, futuro tendrás tu libro en formato EPUB. Me da lo mismo si es en inglés. Sí, en el futuro. Yes. Sandy 123. That's what I thought. And I thought it several times. You know, usually when you say, oh, it's been terrible, but I wouldn't change a single thing. There is something that I would change. I would change the imposter experience. The experience I had of the imposter, I would change that. I would, if I could, I would. But Sandy123 writes, Antonio, maybe you getting mixed up with the crew was a blessing in disguise because you learned how they operate and can help others with your experience. Or should I say, warn others. That's right. I do know how they operate. I know they'll be watching this now. There'll be people saying, we could do this and we could do that and we could do this and somebody should do this and so, but nothing will happen. Nothing. They're not so cohesive. And it's not like the authorities run them and the authorities are like, right, that's it. We'll send a hitman or anything like that. So it's just, it's people wanting to be something, and unfortunately, the thing they want to be is wrong. Is morally wrong. Okay, Stuart Lundy writes, do you think Dolly Daydream is at it with the rest or just a useful idiot? I'm torn. I genuinely think if you go to the video, I tell you what I will do is I will share. Just give me a second. I will share the comments and you might arrive at the same conclusion I arrived at. It's not a good conclusion. The conclusion is this woman is literally retarded. Is an adult, retarded person. And that would explain the daddy going with to this meetup. Why would the dad go to a meetup of flat earthers? Sure, maybe he's a flat earther too. But even so, doesn't the dad have anything other to do? Isn't it a bit, well, eyebrow raising for an adult dad to go with the adult daughter to a gathering of people? I mean, maybe some of you think no, but I think, they're not quite right here. But never mind that. The retarded thing is in how this person speaks and what this person writes. So let me look for the comment. I hope it's not been deleted. Because people can delete their own comments, but I'm looking. I just saw the link from Madame Medusa. Right, so here's one comment. Right, let me screen share just a second. Where am I? Here. Let's see what this shows. Yeah, here you go. Dolly Daydream. What the two guys you were sat outside with that came back inside as we didn't leave and told us all you said they were with us at my event. Sad. It's like, I wrote, want to try that again, this time intelligibly? And then in brackets, intelligibly means in a way that makes sense. Then, come again, maybe too many drinks to type a sentence that makes any sense. And then, she started early today, eh? Have no idea what she's trying to say here. And then Rock Lover, Dolly, shame Riley wasn't there giving it large. Your tough guys would have thought twice about putting their hands on Antonio's laptop. It wasn't a laptop, it was the camera. I'll show you the camera. Which, by the way, was loaned to me by a really kind person who just said, there you go, have that for as long as you want. Like, oh, thank you. Who pays Dave's wages as the tour bodyguard? Anyway, that's one comment. I'm going to read it again. What the two guys you were sat outside with. So yes, we met two guys. I put it in the video. That came back inside as we didn't leave. Like, okay. And told us all. Okay. You said they were with us at my event. Sad. Right, so look. Those two guys that came back inside, that means they went back inside because they were with you. And later you say that I said that they were with you. It's like, huh? I don't get this. First, I didn't say that they were with you. I said the two guys, they hadn't seen what went on inside. This is why I'm saying I think this person is literally retarded. But there's another comment. Dolly Daydream here at the bottom. My meetup. I'm from Stockport and anyone's welcome to visit. Problem, you don't own it. Well, if everyone's welcome to visit, that includes me. Bless, good job people there saw and heard what really happened and you were asked to leave, trying to cause trouble at an event nothing to do with you. Well, if it's flat earth, it's to do with me. Disgusting rude man. I invited everyone there. Okay, well then count me as one of those everyone. Like how you cut your vids up to suit you. What? Like how you cut your vids up to suit you. People were there. Nobody is interested in you or your content. There was 20 people at our table. Who heard and saw it all? You sound like a child name calling. No, we didn't leave, laugh out loud. They did, but then they went back, and I explained at the start of this that, yeah, for all you know, somebody went, we're on the job. And the manager said, great. Now, somewhere there's my comment. Here you go. I will read the others, by the way. Dolly Daydream, look, wonky eyes. People can tell you whatever they like, but the camera shows what happened, which your pals were determined to not have recorded. Why would that be? As for a meeting where everyone is welcomed, well, count me as one of those everyone, except obviously not welcome because I know things you don't, half-wit. So, wind your neck back in, be quiet, and learn. For instance, you can look at the uncut video, apart from the cuts caused by your dad and the no chin missing teeth guy turning my cam off. Wait. As for not owning Stockport, too right, I don't own it. But see what happens next time you try organising something in my town, wonky eyes. Oh, and tell your runt of a dad, next time he threatens to knock me out, I'll have a surprise for him. Wink. Anyway, now, Rocklover, wonky eyes, laugh out loud, must be related to the imposter. Yeah, she has got wonky eyes too. So what the heck is going on with all these wonky eye people? How would you respond to false rape allegations? Writes Gas227. How would you respond to false rape allegations? People have been killed for less. He was extremely well behaved given the circumstances. One of your friends turned off his camera too. Pathetic. 2 of the people, by the way. By the way, just so you all know, when the old man turned my camera off, first he went to turn it off. I said, I'll get off. And then he carried on talking. And once he's talking, I'm looking at him. And he switched it off. I hadn't noticed until he said, you turn that back on, I'll knock you out. That's how I realised that the camera was off. I'm like, oh, thanks for that. Switch it back on. Sit down. Anyway. You're a liar, so is your friend Roxanne, writes Melanie Harrison. Helen Degenerates. Dolly is her sock account effing bitch, Roxanne. You ain't no flat earther. Anyway, so, look. I have just over 2,000 subscribers. This video's been viewed by 174 people. That's about the same number of people that have viewed the video put on the channel that has 4,000 subscribers. It's like, oh dear. Where this woman said nobody's interested in your thing. It's like, well, looks like they're more interested in my thing than in their thing. Anyway, never mind. It's not all about that. Right. Back to this. So yes, true story. Old man comes over. Switch that off. Get off. Get off my equipment. Somehow, sneaky little sly thing, managed to switch it off. Even though it was right here, looking at him, and like right here. Oh. Anyway, you switch that back on, I'll knock you out. Like, oh, it's off, is it? Thanks. Tunk, back on. Sit down. I tell him to sit down, he sits down, but before he sits down, he says, don't tell me to sit down. Like, I just did. Told you to sit down, and now you sat down. Thank you. Just people. Jeez Louise, people are so stupid. Yeah, and he was a little man, like a very little man, like literally, like the guy that Madame Medusa. I'm going to play it again because it was funny. The Madame Medusa shared. You want some? Like that kind of guy. Like, sit down, fart. That's just, jeez Louise. All right, here it is. I'm going to look up at what Madame Medusa shared, and I'm going to play it again. And then later I'm going to read all the comments because most of these comments weren't there when I looked earlier. Here it is. Madame Medusa, where is it? Right, let me go back to the top. Just bear with me. It's funny. Let's see if it's this. 1 second. Roy Christopher writes, Wolfie's just done a video and claims final nail for FE. Please someone comment, beyond me, thanks. Like, it's a heck of a lot of final nails. Oh, no, that's not the video. Final nail to the FE. Is it a gyroscope showing apparent drift? No, it's not then. Oh, where is it? Right, I'm going to go into the history. Sorry, guys. I just have to show it. So some people understand. Because some other people will be watching this right now. Where is it? Here it is. It's just absolutely brilliant. So let me share it again. Okay, nobody think Martin Lidke. Don't think Martin Lidke. Just don't think it. There it is.
Oh, just shit out. You've got no friends. You've got no friends.
They're fucking ultra playing well. I'm telling you.
What you want some?
Hey?
You want some?
Well, the ultra playing well.
You want some or what?
You read?
You want some
They're
or what?
fantastic. They're fantastic.
You're playing shit because you've got no friends.
What
And
are
you're a
you?
load of wankers. If you want some, I'll give it you. You want to do it, mate?
You see, the reason people didn't actually like smack him is that that's obviously somebody that's a bit mentally retarded, and it's not nice to like be violent to people who are mentally retarded. They can't control how they behave. It's part of their mental retardation. So Dolly's father is retarded. It's not a surprise that Dolly's retarded. Some of it does actually, you know, go down the... It's the gene pool, that family tree's gene pool. It's retarded. So now when you watch Dolly Daydream saying, and it's a dome, and it's a hey, now you'll see it differently. Now you'll see it how it is. Because before you might have watched it thinking, oh, this woman is just kind of jesting. Like, no, this woman is retarded. Is just trying to explain it as best they can. Sorry, but that's just how it is. There aren't retarded people in this world. Can't pretend that there aren't any. Shane Carles. Damn it, Martin Lidke lookalike. Shane Carles? I said don't think Martin Lidke. Anyway. And I'm just jesting, Martin, if you're watching, pal. Hey, maybe tell everyone about the imposter. Maybe tell everyone about the imposter. And lose some of those friends like Nora No One. Anyway, West Coast Wisdom, Martin's turned into the Flat Earth Fonz. Good luck to him. Good luck to him. Because the guy... nah. What can I say? Was that Smeagol? You got some? You got some? Jeez. Okay, guys, listen. That's it. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go and get a coffee and see what's going on there. Yeah, apple never falls far from the tree. What adult man says to another adult man, turn that back on and I'll knock you out, when the adult man that he's talking to is sitting down, hasn't bothered to stand up when he was approached, because it was about my head height and I was sat down, and switched off my camera, then told me he switched it off, so thanks. What kind of adult man does that? A retarded like that guy, the guys behind, the guy recording, is like, oh, they're doing all right. Like, go on, son. That was that guy's first thing. At first I thought he said, you what, son? But he didn't. Like, go on, son. I do think, though, sometimes, like, honestly speaking, that it would be good sometimes if a quick little to the head, boom, just a quick little one, boom, that will, like, help a little bit of like reset things. Wait. Oh ho ho! Let's show that comment. Let's see if it's the real one. I'm going to show the comment. It might be a fake channel. So I'm going to give a wrench just so you're protected. And now I'm going to go to the channel. Hee. Oh, timed out. Sorry. Somebody timed that person out. So let me just take a look. See, I think it might not be that channel. If it is that channel, I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Now that it looks like shit, it's like, oh, that went wrong. Now it's trying to get a rise out of me. Even though what happened was, it was me got a rise out of her and the other clown shoes. The good people are like, But I'm trying to get to see that channel and it's not kind of letting me. But it could be somebody in a sock account that isn't Roxanne. I don't know. Doesn't really matter anyway. I'll read the comments. Anyway. You are a sick rapist and not neo-sick. My name's Antonio, not Anotnio. But I'm trying to go to the channel. Yeah, that's interesting. It's not letting me go to the channel. That's very peculiar. Can somebody see if it is the channel? Oh, so it looks like it is. And it looks like the reason I can't see if it's the real channel is because I might be blocked. Roxanne Grobliss Denier, you have a wrench in this chat, bitch. Anyway, let's see. Run Thawsome Rice. Hey, at Toxan, is it okay to film people in public without their explicit permission or not? See how everybody saw what you did. But it's not us filming without permission. And he's still filming. Help. He's still help. You put look camera, put your hand in front of the camera. And I resent you. Like, I can put the laptop away now. It's a bit uncomfortable. Roxanne. You can't check it either. Nobody can check it. Atando Cabo says, you don't have to put on the right light. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. So, I did give that person a wrench. They're now timed out. But they do have a wrench. Oh, Toxan. Didn't know even who. I don't know who this Antonio guy is. I've been looking at this since 2015. Don't know. Never. Oopsie, how lies come and bite you in the pussy. We're a hypocritical female, Chrissy Lynn. That's right. Wait till the 300-second passes. Yes, we will. It wouldn't surprise me though if it wasn't. It wouldn't. Wouldn't surprise me if it was, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't. Ew. Anyway, I doubt there will be any more Flat Earth meetups made public by Half-Wit Dolly and the dad. I doubt, because this time I really will interrupt. Sorry, guys. Sorry. In fact, I might do one. And invite all of you guys. Not just you guys in the chat, but all of the half-wits who think that, but Dolly, but she's lovely. But Roxanne, but she's lovely. And invite all of those guys and answer all of their questions. And you can all film whatever you like. Roxanne Patricia calling Antonio a violent rapist through Stephen Chess was to get Antonio off YouTube, but as a man would have left, Pat was doxxed by a Canadian Christian ex-flat earther. Roxanne doesn't know any of that. That's like telling her a couple of chapters of War and Peace. She'd be like, what the heck is this? But, yeah. See, back then, when I brought attention to it, I started to see who were the guys that I thought were sincere flat earthers, who turned out to be sincere but gullible. Like, if you don't pay attention to the negative goes away kind of people. It's like, it doesn't really work like that. Sparky Lee. Hi, Antonio. Hi, chat. You can have a wrench. It doesn't really work like that. If you don't pay attention to the negative goes away. That idea, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Like, it's all great. Except for evil. Not like there are people there in Africa going, pretty nice, but I think maybe somebody will come over with a machete and kill us. No. And then out come people with machetes and kill them. I don't think it's because they sat there going, interesting, this living thing. It's not like I've missed a good show. We'll watch from start later. Sparkly, I think you did. I enjoyed the first part especially. Not the very first. The very first is just a little bit of silliness to do with stupid people. The part about the missing evidence for the globe, like when you look, it's like, well, that's not evidence, and that's not evidence. That's definitely supposed to be evidence. Proves the opposite. Where's the evidence? Oh, go and look at Wolfie's channel for evidence. Like, really? Flight plans? Well, they have globe coordinates. It's okay. So I'm supposed to have coordinates to my map. That's coordinates too. You have to be a genius to do it. So, just go ahead. Because that's exactly what I'll do. I mean, that's exactly what I would do if he could do a gyroscope thing, but he can't. So I won't have to. If I do, it would be for my own enjoyment. Hey, where's that Toxan person gone? They're not timed out anymore. Surely. Let's see. And nobody could see who they were. That's interesting. It's very peculiar. Just give me a second. Let me go and see. Oh, Pudgy and Pudge. Oh, yeah, that's great. I'm going to play that. This is called trying to get serious people worried. Listen. So, this is the promo for Roxanne's channel, and it's aimed at children. So now picture that you're a serious globeling who thinks that all flat earth is, there's no scientific investigation, there's nothing to it, it's all just quackery and cultish behaviour. And then, like Toxan and those guys, and then you see that, you might have cause for alarm. I don't have a message. One second. Anyway, so it's interesting. Oh, I'm looking at this person. So John Thor, Nathan Oakley, Dave Marsh, Dr. John D. Dr. John D is a patsy, guys. He's a good guy, but he's a patsy. This is what they do. They bring in patsies, so they're not everyone's a shill. Jason of Disbury family, half-wit. Dolly Daydream, retard. Lifting the Lid, don't know. 007, don't know. Iron Realm Media, they were okay, but and Sleeping Warrior, jeez, what a band. Iron Realm Media were okay. I don't know whether they shared that video or not. That's a smeary video. Anyway, let me go back in the chat. In fact, let me just mute everything and make a quick phone call, sort something out, and then I'll be back. Julie's, Antonio, have you seen The Real Flat Earth by some Kenny guy? Yeah, Julie's. The Kenny guy is a complete half-wit. He's saying, first, the continents, way larger than they really are, but here they are, represented like way larger, well more distorted, just complete crackpot. So people, anybody with half an ounce of common sense can go, well, that's a crock of shit. Yeah, but the sun's making big circles around the outside, see, and it's like an egg. And that's why that guy was interviewed. Sparky Lee, it may take time, but we will root out the gatekeepers and shill channels. We will. Same as with people like Alex Jones. See, right at the start of the whole Alex Jones thing, at the start, there was Bill Cooper saying, this Alex Jones guy is a shill. Because Bill Cooper was still alive. And they were saying that Alex Jones guy is an alarmist shill. The real guy with the real info was Bill Cooper. Right now, the real guy with the real info is me. And I'm telling you, these guys are shills. Sorry, guys. Right, so give me a second. I'm going to mute. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes. 1 second. Okay. Apologies for that, everyone. Not quite an emergency, but something that needed attending to. I forget what I was. Oh, yeah. I was looking to see if that top sand person returned, whoever it was, whether it was the person or a sock account. Don't know. Not bothered. Either way. Trailer Park Music, of course, I could have done that. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do that as a sign out. I'm going to sign out with the Trailer Park Boys. When you go in, Tony, Sparkly, right, Tony, when you go in, if you're saying to me, I'm going kind of now. I'm going to pull up the Trailer Park Boys. Just a second. Yeah, it's a good way of wrapping up. Danny Diesel, how you doing? Right. There it is. Right, give me a second. Let me turn the volume down so it doesn't blast through people's headphones. And I'm going to bid you all a good night. Hasta luego.